Hello, and welcome back to another War Thunder video, where today's video is going to be about the P-38E. The P-38E is a plane that I've never really appreciated until now, and you'll see in this replay what an effective aircraft this is. So in this replay, I was playing in realistic battles on the Normandy map, and I didn't have this plane fully upgraded. As you could see, I don't have the different ammunition types for the 20mm cannon, and I also didn't have some module for the engine. But anyway, this plane is still very effective. And it also gets an air spawn, which allows you to get to higher altitudes and dive on your opponents, which this plane is very good at doing. This plane also has a very good armament. It has 4 12.7mm machine guns and 1 20mm cannon. So you could really rip up your opponents with these two guns. And right now, as you could see in the replay, I am trying to get to higher altitude so I could dive on my opponents. This plane is very good at sustaining speed, as long as you don't climb too extremely with it. But you could do a slight climb and you can get very high and do a lot of damage. This plane maintains speed very well. It is very good in a dive, and once it dives on its opponents, they're basically done for. Because this plane also has a very good turn speed, especially with the combat flops, you can almost outturn anything. Unless you're fighting Japanese prop planes and everything else. So, this plane, its 12.7mm machine guns are very punchy. They rip up anything at its tier. The 20mm cannon also does a lot of damage, but it's mainly the 12.7mm machine guns that absolutely wreck your enemies. This plane you can also play as a bomber hunter because it's fast and it has very powerful guns. So this plane excels in almost everything. At first I didn't really appreciate it because I didn't really like twin engine fighters. This plane is classified as an interceptor, but I didn't like twin engine fighters because they were big and they were hard to maneuver. But this plane, once I started playing it again, I noticed what a good turn speed it had, and I really liked it. I got like on average 2 kills, 3 kills per round. So you could see some bombers in the distance. I'm not gonna really go after those bombers because this plane, while it can attack bombers, it's not the only option, and it's sometimes not the best option. And you could see in the distance I spot a Stuka, but I'm still gonna get to higher altitude so I could dive on him more. And the rest of my team is mainly staying at low altitude and killing the ground vehicles. So I decide to go after this Stuka, and you could see a teammates going after him as well. Stuka players, they really like to focus on dropping the bomb instead of fighting. They first drop the bomb and then they usually start fighting. So you could see I start to dive on him, but I go way too fast and I only get a hit off. So now I'm just turning and trying to go after the Stuka, and you could see I'm maintaining speed, and this plane is really good at it, and I'm outspeeding the Stuka very easily, and I light him on fire. But one thing about German planes, they really like to put out fires, so they usually tend to put them out before they die. And you could see the Stuka puts out the fire, and I only get a crit on his gunner. So I put on my combat flaps and think about going after him again. But the Hurricane charges after him and will get the kill in just a second. So, yeah, there we go. And that will be a kill assist for me, so. Yep. And now I'm just gonna try to go after the other enemies. You can see this C-202 is diving on my teammate. So you can see I'm maintaining a speed of about 500 kilometers per hour, which is a lot, especially for its battle rating at 3.0. So I take a couple of shots on him, and I miss because I aim a little bit badly, and now I put on my combat flaps and I try to go after him again. You can see what an effective turn fighter this plane is. And I put a couple of very nice shots into him, and I light him on fire and he goes down. So you can see how effective these guns are. Now at this point, I didn't think that I could really do much more. So I was gonna start to attack the ground units, but you'll see that much more will happen besides this. So this plane, there's also a higher tier P-38, which is in rank 4, I'm pretty sure. And that plane, it basically has the same guns. It probably is a little bit better in other ways, but I like this plane because it still has very good engines and still maintains the same guns as the higher tier P-38s. So here you see me just attacking some ground units. These are heavier ground units, so they're kind of harder to kill. And right now I'm in first place from attacking the ground units. So you'll see later on, this game is gonna be much more than just attacking ground units. But you can see I wasted all of my cannon ammo on the ground units, so I'm not gonna be able to use that later. And then I just decide to finally go back to base and restock my ammunition. The 20mm cannon, you don't exactly have to use it, but it's pretty good to have it. So here you see me, I go very evasive against this BF-109. I couldn't do much there besides going evasive because he could still go after me. And now this BF-109, he seems to want to turn fight, which is not a good idea because his advantage right now is speed, and I could turn much faster than him, as you could see right now. I put on the combat flaps, and now he's in front of my gun. So I use the 20mm, and I kill his pilot as well as light him on fire. So now I'm going back to base. My team seems to be dealing with the other planes on the enemy team. And you could see this Re 2001 is near my base, and I'm gonna have some contact with him later on. So he's leaving, he's going opposite from our base, and there's also this A-36 who's coming after him as well with me. So I'm starting to go towards him. I'm at about 5,000 kilometers away from him, and we'll see what kind of wreckage I can do to him. So my friendly A-36 starts to spray at him, but he misses, and I try to take some shots on him, but I only get to hit him, and I just barely miss a tree. So that was very lucky there. So this Re 2001 is staying at low altitude, but I get a crit on him, so that's his cooling system down. And now I'm gonna take a couple more shots, and I'm running very low on ammo, and then I light him on fire, and he goes in between the trees, but I'm not gonna fall for that. So I go over the trees, and I take him down. So now I start to get shot. I thought that was my teammate, but you'll see it will not be. So I quickly turn to try to avoid, and I don't see the enemy behind me, but surprise, surprise, he comes from the left, from the upper left. So now I put on my raised flaps, and I engage this BF-109 F2. I put on my combat flaps to increase my turn speed, since this guy really wants to play evasive. So I take a couple of shots. I'm running really low on ammunition, but I get the crit, and he is on fire. So he is very damaged right now, and I have only 5 rounds left. So he suffers damage off his fuselage, so he is probably gonna go down, and I am out of ammo, so I have to go back to base anyway. So I put on my combat flaps to turn away, and I take down the BF-109. So now all I have to do is go back to base, and then I'm going to go after the last enemy. So you could see this is an absolutely amazing round already in the P-38E, with 4 kills and 1 kill assist and 2 ground kills. But I'm not gonna be done yet, so I'm going to quickly refuel, and I'm going to go after the last enemy. And here I skipped the video because it's gonna be a long flight over to the enemy base. So this guy, this BF-109, just camped in base, and the anti-air killed all of my teammates that went after him, and now he's deciding to land. So I decided to just take this opportunity to get rid of him, and here my friendly Typhoon dies from the anti-air. So I'm gonna go after him. It's fair that I'm going after him because he camped at base the whole time, and I'm just going to get rid of him. So I get very close to him. The anti-air is about to shoot, and I start to shoot at him. I crit him, and I get my ace. So that's the end of the BF-109, and that was my first ever ace in the P-38E. So this is a plane that is very effective, and I really enjoyed it. So that's gonna be the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.